Today we're taking a look at these NBA matches, which are happening on Monday, May 29, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comments section below. Miami Heat vs Boston Celtics. The Heat had several chances to close out the Boston Celtics late in Game 6. Duncan Robinson had two great looks at three-pointers that could have clinched the game, and they also could have gotten one stop with 3 seconds left, but allowed Derek White to win the game on a last-second putback. The Heat are trying to avoid becoming the only team to lose a series after winning the first 3 games. The Heat made 14 threes as opposed to just 7 makes by the Celtics, but it was not enough to win. All 5 Miami starters reached double figures, led by Jimmy Butler with 24 and Caleb Martin with 21. Martin was inserted into the starting lineup for Game 6, starting over Kevin Love, who did not play at all. Gabe Vincent returned to the lineup to score 15 after tweaking his ankle and missing Game 5. Bam Adebayo had 11 points and 13 rebounds, but struggled from the floor, only shooting 4-16 on the game. Miami has no new injury concerns, though Tyler Herro did start doing some drills in practice. There is a chance Herro plays if the Heat make the NBA Finals. Miami ranked 25th in offensive efficiency and 8th in defensive efficiency, according to dunksandthrees.com. Miami returns to Boston, where the Heat have gone 2-1 this series. When Miami jumped to a 3-0 series lead, this appeared to be over despite the fact that number 8 Heat had many holes. It starts in the backcourt with Tyler Herro and Victor Oladipo sitting out with injuries. They also lost point guard Gabe Vincent for Game 5 in Boston, which became an easy 110-97 victory for Boston at home as an 8.5-point favorite. Vincent returned for Game 6 and played well, scoring 15 points on 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. Despite the fact that Bam Adebayo was held to just 11 points on 4 of 16 shooting, and Jimmy Butler was just 5 of 21 from the field, did have 11 rebounds and 8 assists, the Heat managed to come back from a 10-point deficit with 4:56 left, and Butler helped carry the team to the comeback with 15 fourth-quarter points. Butler also loves to guarantee wins. Remember when Butler said we can and we will win before Game 5? He is guaranteeing another win for Game 7, but what is he supposed to say? We will go to Boston and lose. However, White's putback cost Miami a shot of becoming the first 8 seed to reach the NBA Finals since the New York Knicks in 1999. In Game 6, Miami shot a pitiful 35% from the field, but they made up for it by making 47% of their 3-point attempts, 14 of 30. After a turnover-prone Game 5-18, they managed to commit just 5 in Game 6. But the poor shooting, 9 of 37, from their 2 best players is something that they cannot afford to repeat in Game 7. Caleb Martin, 21 PT, 15 revs, can only do so much and has become one of the breakout stars of this series. But it's Butler and Adebayo who have to show up in Game 7 or it's on to the golf course. The Celtics have won 11 games in the playoffs so far, and they won 10 of those games by more than 7 points. When the Celtics win, they typically win big, with Game 6 being the outlier. All the momentum is on Boston's side, and their star wings are both playing at a high level. Both Tatum and Brown had over 25 points and 10 rebounds in Game 6 and have been carrying the Celtics all season. The Heat will regret not closing out Boston when they had a chance, and their injuries may be catching up to them, as players like Duncan Robinson and Haywood Highsmith recently have played major minutes. Jimmy Butler has not looked like playoff Jimmy the past few games, and Bam Adebayo has not been a scoring threat at all. Look for the Celtics to put an exclamation point on this series and win big at home. Take the Celtics to win and cover in Game 7. The Celtics are trying to become the first ever NBA team to win a series that they began trailing 3-0. Boston has looked strong in the past 3 games, and Game 6 in Miami may have been their biggest hurdle. Derek White had the play of his life when he put back the Marcus Smart miss, with less than a second left to force Game 7. Jason Tatum led the Celtics with 31 points and 12 rebounds. Tatum has scored 30 or more in 4 of the 6 games this series. Jaylen Brown also had a double-double with 26 points and 10 rebounds. Marcus Smart was the next highest scorer with 21 points. The Celtics continue to start their small lineup, starting Derek White, who finished with 11 points including the game-winning shot. Boston played a short rotation, only giving meaningful bench minutes to Grant Williams and Robert Williams. Malcolm Brogdon is questionable for Game 7 with a forearm injury. The Celtics rank 2nd in offensive efficiency and 3rd in defensive efficiency this season. The Celtics get Game 7 on their home court as they look to finish off the best series comeback in NBA history. Boston is the more talented and athletic team by far in this series. Yet, on Saturday night, they were pretty much dominating the game on both ends, and then for some reason, couldn't put the game away. Part of the problem was that Jason Tatum went from scoring 25 points in the first half to scoring just 31 overall and went 0 of 8 from beyond the arc. Boston shot just 7 of 35, 20% from three-point range on Saturday after shooting 41%, 16 of 39, in Game 5. While Tatum struggled in the second half, Jaylen Brown began to work the paint. He was 0-4 from 3 PT and scored 26 points on 9 of 16 shooting, 8 of 10 FT. Smart had a great game with 21 points on 7 of 15 shooting, and White had a quiet game, 11 PTS, until the final shot. White, like Caleb Martin, has been one of the breakout stories of the playoffs. It's not like he was an undrafted free agent since he was drafted in the late first round in 2017 from Colorado by San Antonio. After shooting 38.1% from beyond the arc in the regular season, White is shooting 47.5% from three-point range in the playoffs and 51.2% overall. He's not only a very good open shooter, but he's also one of the best defenders on the Celtics. They'll need another strong game from White since the Heat will be locked in on slowing down Tatum and Brown. I understand this is a Game 7, but this line has overcorrected itself way too much. The first 5 games of the series saw totals between 212 and 216, then after a few unders, they dropped the total all the way down to 203.